Is it pretty bad that I was most looking forward to Better Call Saul than The Walking Dead coming back? Hey guys, welcome to Dead Walking Sunday. We're talking what happened and what's going on. Spoiler talk. Now listen, my 2 cents on overall The Walking Dead series. I already seen two of the best shows ever made. One by AMC and one by FX. So I'm not going to lay down for The Walking Dead anymore. My thoughts are it's mediocre. It hasn't been as good as it was maybe in the first 2 seasons. Now, hang on. Now, wait. That doesn't mean I'm biased. That doesn't mean I don't enjoy The Walking Dead. I'm just saying it needs to step up its game. We are back with this episode. I got to say, damn, welcome back, Walking Dead. Taking over my football. This episode was pretty damn good. It is definitely a slow burn kind of episode. It started off a little bit slow. Was that, generic dialogue, getting Beth's death, dealing with that. They go to where Noah says that, where he, used to live, where him and Beth were going to go to, called Wilshire. I was trying to think if it was in the comics. I don't remember that name being in the comics. I know there's 2 safe zones that they'll probably introduce later on. No, but there's spoilers, so spoilers, here we come. So it's Tyrese, Noah, Michonne, Glenn, and Rick. The positives about this the things... No, let's talk about the bad first. The bad is they didn't need to do the artsy-dartsy kind of shit, where you see, like, the little... like they went and they did a little flicker filter, basically, in the editing. They didn't really need to do that. We saw a little, like... Editing wise, it was all over the place. In the very beginning, we thought that basically they were burying death. We see a photo covered in blood in the very beginning. Like, it's very confusing. So we start going through this episode. Like I said, it's a slow burn. The group basically is radioing. Rick is radioing to basically what the hell is it? Carol, that they're going to this place. They have radios going on, to make sure everybody's okay. They get to the place and the place is done. The place got overran by zombies, so we think. But we find out that somebody's really kind of like pretty much invaded that kind of area that Noah's home, and everybody's pretty much dead. There's a lot of zombie decapitation, a lot of body parts everywhere. I think I know who it is. But I'm not going to say anything until I see a couple more episodes to make sure. But there's definitely somebody coming in, bulldozing their ways on these kind of like safe grounds, so to speak, and just chopping everybody up. And they have one of the zombies actually had a letter of W, I believe it was W. So we'll see what's with that. So we see basically Rick, Glenn, and Michonne covering. They can't do anything. They have to go back on the road, but they're gonna go see if they can get any supplies. Do a run real quick. So Tyrese basically is watching Noah. Noah's breaking down. I don't like Noah. I don't like him. I don't like him after this episode. I never liked him when he first got introduced. It's a guy from Everybody Loves Chris. I don't like him. I don't like him. I don't really like Father Gabriel, but I do like Father Gabriel as an actor. So basically, Tyrese is watching Noah, Rick and all them go off, and then Noah starts crying and crying like a bitch, and then starts running to his house, which I have no clue how Tyrese did not catch up to him when Noah's freaking limping his way towards his house. So he gets to the house, and we see basically him going, oh man, yeah, there's a zombie. The zombie effects on this episode were really, really great. The zombie effects were nicely done. And of course, we see a lot of the dead bodies in the house. You see Tyrese looking through it, Noah with that one dead body that was in the living room. And then Tyrese gets bitten. He gets bitten. And I'm just thinking to myself, wow, they really, is this really how I want Tyrese to go? That's kind of sad that they're going to end Tyrese's character in pretty much Noah's house, him getting bitten from behind, which I have no clue why he didn't hear that little zombie creeping up on him. I don't care if he's a little kid. He should have heard him. So that's what I was kind of pissed at that point where it's like, wow, he got bitten. But the show just started going along, and I said, okay, let's just keep watching and see what's going on. Maybe they'll cut off his arm. I'm pretty sure Tyrese is going to die in this episode, though. It makes sense. So we see more of the episode go on. We see Michonne suggesting they go to Washington. We see more. We see Noah going to go warn, go get Rick and everybody. See him in a little trouble, this and that. Then you see Tyrese hallucinating. He sees Lizzie, and I forgot what the other girl's name is. He sees Beth. He sees Bob. He sees that guy with the baseball cap who chews gum. He sees basically the governor. He knew that was an illusion. I love the effect when the governor is going at him, and then it turns out to be a zombie, and that zombie ends up biting him even more. I thought that was good. I thought that was great. I really loved that effect. Of course, Noah gets in a little jam. Rick helps him. Then they all go try to get Tyrese. I like the dialogue, too, between Rick and Glenn. I thought that was great. We haven't seen that for a while. We haven't seen Rick and Glenn really have that one-on-one chat. And then Michonne, of course, is overhearing. And then you see, I just really liked how it was just well done. This whole episode was just well done with Tyrese hallucinations, with basically the final moments of Tyrese, so to speak. Him, of course, his character crying again, and just constantly crying, but he basically saying, he did forgive Carol. He's really, he's basically at ease of what he's done at this point. So overall, well executed demise for Tyrese. I could see maybe a lot of people not liking how he went out, but they really did go, they really did make it beautiful where Rick chopping off his arm, trying to save him, them getting into a car, finding all those decapitated heads and stuff, but still getting out of there. Tyrese, being basically his hallucinations, Beth telling him it's okay, it's better, Lizzie telling him it's better. And all and Bob smiling at him. It was a great moment in the car. Then you see the car stop. You see them take out Tyrese, and he's gone. And then we see basically what we saw in the beginning of the episode. Now at the end, and it makes sense that they weren't burying Beth; they were burying Tyrese. So overall, a slow burn episode. Start off a little bit. Start off a little bit. Like, oh God, Walking Dead again. But it really turned out to be a damn good episode. It turned out to send off a character that you wished a little bit more of. You wish that this character was more, so to speak, if you read the comics, and so, I don't want to go there, but even if you watch the show, you kind of wish Tyrese did a little bit more. And they did showcase that in this episode that, hey, Tyrese maybe could, he did make mistakes. He was, it was great that this episode really just showed this flawed character, but he was able to stand up and say, hey, I forgave Carol because I wanted to forgive Carol because she's not as evil as you. And, I did everything up to this point. Like he basically, he was fine. He was fine to who he was and what he did at this point. Excuse me. So, just great. I thought the editing was great other than, being confused in the very beginning, other than the flicker, effect, the filter. Didn't really like that. Didn't like the little artsy stuff they were trying to do. But most of the stuff worked really well. The direction was well done. I liked how Tyrese was underneath the desk. You can see Tyrese was going pale. He was dying. Loved the cameos. Thought the cameos were well suited, really great. And then the radio effect, like Rick on the phone when he had the telephone, he was talking to his dead wife, Lori. That was great. So there was like a little, call back to that. Liked the dialogue between Rick and Glenn and Michonne. I liked how Michonne is, she's getting pissed because they're constantly moving. They need to stay in one spot. That's smart thinking. I did think the beginning was a little bit boring. I thought the dialogue wasn't that great, especially with Tyrese and Noah. But once the episode just really moved into, getting the introduction out of the way, it really became such another solid episode of The Walking Dead. Sorry for Sasha, man. I feel bad for Sasha losing Bob, now losing Tyrese. Sasha seems like she's going to go a little bit more further. She is going further than those two. We'll see. We'll see what happens now. Good way to start this mid-season, these final episodes. Hopefully they stay strong. Like I said, I think The Walking Dead in the beginning, when the first episode for this season came on. I thought it was spectacular. A couple episodes, with the Hunters were great. Then it kind of fell down. Let's maintain this rhythm. Let's maintain what we have right now. Hopefully The Walking Dead throughout stays entertaining, stays, solid, gives us another one of these episodes each and every weekend. That's what I'm hoping for. That's what makes a show great. And I don't want this Walking Dead to be mediocre. I don't want it to be great episodes. They're not great episodes. I want it to be consistent. So, great episode. Let me know what you guys thought. Tyrese demise. I didn't necessarily like the way he went out, especially if you know him from the comics, but I thought they executed it well, and I could live with it, and I thought that was a great episode to send off one of the big characters in the group. So, thank you guys for listening. Please like the video, and please subscribe. Until next weekend, until another edition of The Walking Dead and Dead Walking Sunday. And watch for that Better Call Saul review. That's coming up real soon. So, thank you guys for listening.